Don't Fear the Cube. Kind of a stupid title. Really, it's talking about not to fear really narrow surgery. I was always under the impression that if I had like a really narrow cut, and we just finished a particular video about using Alloy to find EQ problems with their little spectrum analyzer. And I think I had like a 10 decibel cut at 205 or so. And if I would have seen that when I was younger, I would have said, oh no, yes, maybe we're addressing this one problem at 205 or whatever it is. But imagine all those other good instances of 205. Here, let's be a little more accurate here. All these other instances of 205, they're going to really be hurt by this. Well, the truth is, if it's a narrow cut, they won't. Surgery you can get away with on a scale that a lot of times the ear won't even notice that you've got a slice, even on like the stereo bus. And I remember years ago, Bob Katz, who's a big-time mastering engineer, he had a little video showing how to get rid of one-note bass, which is kind of like when bass starts going, it kind of just sounds like it's ringing. It doesn't sound like, doom, 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 which is whatever. Anyway, when bass sounds bad. And he was fixing it in the mastering process by using very narrow slits and probably using cues much higher than we are here. I don't know. We're at 12. I'd like to be probably a little bit thinner. But anyway, that's good enough. And what I'm showing you here is in the video where we were addressing a problem with some kind of like a muddy tone on certain words on a vocal. Let's go ahead and do this in span first on the on the vocal track. Okay, so we're going to do exactly like we did before. We're going to open up the original track here. We are going to look at Alloy. And then, let's find a closer bit. Okay, that's where I want to be. I'm going to loop that. That'll drive you guys crazy. Okay, I already know. This is really quick with Alloy, once again. Okay, so let's unloop it, because that always seems to change our perspective a little bit. Let's unloop it. Let's get some perspective. It's a taste of love. We have to leave. Okay, I'm happy with that. We've pulled the mud out of there, and that we have to leave. You saw it here on the screen, hopefully. Okay, and I'm cutting. Let's go down further. I think I wanted that much. Let's check it one last time. Okay, so once again, I would have been afraid that cutting this little notch here would have ruined all the other good parts. And that's just not the case with surgery stuff. I mean, we're cutting 7 decibels, which is a healthy amount to cut, but we're being so careful to just a tiny little sliver that is really going to affect frequencies that are only in that frequency. And very few times does that happen. Usually when something's like a real narrow boost, it's problematic. We got to nuke it. Now, to show you my point about... I get interrupted by Ruprecht. Anyway, he's fired. All right, so we are going to... Okay, so I'm going to bypass that EQ I had on 200 hertz. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go onto the stereo bus and do it. Now, the stereo bus, we're going to, in my mind, would have been murdering the bass, the drums, synths. Anything that's going on is going to get, quote-unquote, murdered. But take a listen before and after. You're not going to notice a big freaking difference. All right, without it. It's a taste of love. Now, if we're playing the Can You Hear It contest, which a lot of people do, yeah, maybe you will notice, like, is there a difference? Sure. But is it bad to do this? And my answer is no. I don't hear that and go, bleh, bleh, not at all. So now the problem is at the moment we have 2 EQs cutting out 200 whatever hertz. We don't want that. Okay, I lied. Now let's listen to see if, okay, so what I've done is I've turned Alloy's 205 hertz cut off. You remember the little surgery guy? Is he still in there? No, I just killed him altogether. Now, remember we had the big rumbly stuff right here. Well, I'm cutting it off on the 2 bus. Let's see what we hear.
It's a taste of love we have to leave.
Okay, I'm actually cutting a little bit too much. I think I knocked off 10, but I really wanted to abuse the 2 bus so you guys could see just how subtle a little sliver can be in the big picture, but solve a big time problem. So the point here is do not be afraid of surgery at all. If you hear anything that has that or any other frequency that's really peaky, and it's easy to see with span or alloy or any other spectrum analyzer, go ahead and nuke it. And don't necessarily nuke it on the 2 bus, because that's kind of is a last resort. But even the 2 bus is often a safe spot to do this. All right, guys. Bah.